Hey guys, future editor Seal here, and I know I didn't put the perks in the last Trapper tier list, so at the end of this video, after the outro, I'm gonna put what perks you should take on the Trappers, so hopefully all the people that were missing the perks in the Trapper tier list can be satisfied. Uh, Enjoy the video. Hey, what is up guys? My name is Seal, and today we are doing the Evolve Stage 2 Medic tier list. Thank you to these people for suggesting this video, and let's get right into it. So first off, we have Val, and Val, I feel in stage 2 at least, she is a very mid medic, especially with some of the nerfs supports in the game. So Val needs a shield support to thrive, to survive. She does best in Beam Team, she does well with Sunny. Any other support, she is just Val. She doesn't really have that much survivability with her. She only has her heal burst to survive, so if she gets focused, she can get flipped really easily. Monsters can even power through Hank shields now and destroy Val, so her survivability really isn't that good. Her team healing is really good. It's okay. I mean, you can keep a teammate alive for a long time while they're being focused, especially while they are dodging. Her Trank Dart is still good. It slows down the monster, it gives free wall hacks, that's always nice. And her Sniper Rifle is the same, it just gives bonus damage to the team, but I think she's a really mid-tier hunter just because of her low survivability. She basically needs a shield support to survive, and even then, she can still get flipped pretty easily. As for what I would run on Val, you can run a multitude of things on Val and it could work. Mostly survivability things such as double thrusters recharge, or you could possibly run one thruster double recharge if you want jetpack more often. You could also run double class cooldown. That's a very good one because her heal burst is pretty long, so you would want to have your heal burst back more often. It can help you and your teammates. You can heal your teammates more often, and it will help you survive. So I would probably take afterburners and double class cooldown. You could also run double capacity, which is what I like running personally, but I think I'm gonna move on to double class cooldown now. But with the double capacity, you can heal your teammates for much longer when they are being focused, and it's usually when you're playing on not being focused, because if you do get focused with double capacity, you're kind of gonna die. Like, there's literally nothing you can do. You could also run double jump height or a triple jump height. Just jump height on Val it's good on anybody. Jump height is very good on anybody because you can just jump over the monster, and it's like an extra jetpack charge basically. And yeah, that's what I would run on Val. Next up we have Rogue Val, and because she has a higher survivability rate and also because she does well with damage comps, which are meta in stage 2, I think she's actually better than regular Val. I would actually prefer to play Rogue Val more than regular Val, in my opinion. Yes, she does heal less, but technically she does heal more than regular Val because her medgun healing is lower, yes, but she also has her healing aura, which adds to the medgun healing. She also doesn't really need to focus on healing the teammates as much. She can focus on more damage. If the teammates are dodging, they will get healed by the healing aura. She only really needs to pull out that medgun if they are being hard focused. She has her heal burst, which recovers about 75% of her health. So it is very good for survivability. It takes a really long time to come back, but if the Rogue Val is good at dodging, and especially if you have a shield support on your team, then Rogue Val can thrive very well and survive very well. And also, monsters will usually not focus Rogue Val first in a dome because of her high survivability. So if you want to play a medic that won't be focused very much, then play Rogue Val. For what I would run on Rogue Val, you definitely want survivability on this character. You could go double thrusters recharge again, or you could go a single thruster and double recharge if you want. You could go triple jump height. And if you're feeling really crazy, if you feel like you can dodge the monster, you want to go triple damage. Also, double class cooldown works pretty well on Rogue Val as well, because you can get your self-heal a lot more often and probably survive a lot longer. Next up we have Lazarus, and Lazarus I actually originally thought was like the worst medic in the game, but I think he is on par with Rogue Val. Just again because he works really well with damage comps, which are meta in stage 2, and he has a cloak, which he can run away in. He has the revive. His revive is worse because when people die, they get strikes, but actually that is kind of better than in Legacy, because in Legacy the strat was to just down a hunter, like usually go after Trapper because they don't really have anything to work with, and then the dome goes down and you run away because you already know that Les is just gonna like revive him, and usually you can get out of domes without any health loss, and that was basically just GG. Especially in damage comps, it didn't really work in Legacy that often, especially with the bigger monsters, because you just kill Trapper, evolve to stage 3, and yeah, damage comps could kill you at stage 3. It was a very tough battle, but usually the monster would win in Legacy. However, in stage 2, since killing off a body gives them the strike, it gives monsters an incentive to stay and kill down a body. Um, and especially with a shield support, if the monster kills Assault or Trapper and tries to kill them off, with a shield support, you can keep the body up for longer. Laz also works really well with Bucket because the sentry turrets can hit the weak points, and Mech Recharge, Bucket just works with every medic. So he's even better of a bait medic now than he was in Legacy because monsters have an incentive to get that strike and keep that strike. And in damage comps, monsters cannot stay at a body for too long or else they will get absolutely melted. So I wouldn't really put him in the A tier for team healing or survivability, but more for the damage and the extra damage that he applies with the team with his little weak spots from his sniper rifle. And yeah, you can usually just stay outside of the dome and like wait for your teammates to die, and the monster will usually stay and kill the body. They still could like fleet till 3, but it is a lot harder to kill people now, especially with the supports having their shield as their class ability, so it will take just that a little bit longer. And in a damage comp, you really don't want to take a long time killing hunters because hunters really can melt you very easily. His heal purse also comes back very fast, not as fast as E.M.E.T, but it does come back pretty fast, so you can keep your teammates alive for quite a bit more time, and like your teammates just have more survivability with Lazarus now, and he just works very well with damage comps. For what I would run for Laz, I would also run survivability. It's pretty funny because the first 3 medics you want to run survivability on. You can run survivability, double thrusters, recharge again, or single double recharge. You already know the drill. Triple jump height again. You could also do double reloader on Laz if you want to get that cloak more often, if you think you can survive often. And also double class cooldown is one that I've been liking recently because you can get your heal burst a lot more often. You can keep your teammates alive for a lot longer and yourself for a lot longer as well. Next up we have Caira. And for Caira, I think, in my opinion, she's probably not the worst medic. I don't think any medics are D tier in this game, but she is pretty bad, so I'm gonna put her in the C tier. Her team healing is pretty good. Her acceleration field does the same thing. It speeds them up. She's good at roaching. However, her self-healing is garbage, and a monster can power through Caira's healing pretty easily. If you have a shield support, all he has to do is just go after the shield support, and Caira can't really do much. All she can do is really just shoot grenades, and if the monster focuses you, then you get flipped really easily as Caira, especially since you can't really look at what the monster is doing to dodge the monster. You kind of have to just shoot the ground and hope. You can't, like, you don't have as much visuals on the monster. Also, her fire grenades, they're okay. They don't really do that much damage. Usually you're not going to be using the fire grenades when you're playing Caira. For what I would run on Caira, I would probably run Swap Speed, Reloader, and Cap. That is the original build that I used to run on her, and it also just works pretty well in general. It's good for your team, it's good for yourself. The only thing is that you won't have much mobility, so have fun trying to dodge the monster. However, you can get a lot of good heals off of your team and yourself. You can also run Thrusters, Double Reloader. I actually love this build. It's what I personally run on Caira. I don't necessarily think you need the 6 grenade with capacity. I think reload is a lot better, and with the afterburners you can dodge the monster a lot better, especially since you can't really look at the monster while you're dodging with Caira, but you kind of just have to like aim at your feet. Next up, we have Slim, and Slim, I would say, in my opinion, is still the best medic in the game. Yes, he does get countered by like 2 monsters in the game, but every other monster he does fairly well against. The only monsters that you're going to get flipped on with Slim are probably Wraith and Gorgon, but even then, Slim can do pretty well against them because he can shoot Decoy and Mimic. He is just an overall great medic, especially now that his heal burst is automatic. You can make his heal burst automatic, so you don't even have to think about healing people. All you have to do is shoot the monster, and instead of a Spore Cloud, now they gave him even more survivability by giving him a mutated gland, which increases his self-healing for about 3 seconds, and also gives him jump height, and jump height is pretty busted in this game. And he still has his heal drone, so he can heal people from downs. Like, he can pressure down bodies by sending a bug on them, so the monster can't really like focus you the entire time. He can heal a shit ton. Like, literally, I had a game playing as Bob. Of course, it's Bob. He counters Bob, and I was literally rolling the support. He was in a corner, and I was spamming him with like roll spam abilities, all that junk, and Slim was out healing it, and the support literally could not move, and I couldn't kill the support. So Slim is just absolutely insane, especially if you play him well. On Slim, one of my favorite builds is definitely Double Reloader. Afterburner's Double Reloader. It is very good. I don't think you need the capacity on Slim either, and you don't really need to swap to your bug. The reloader can get more heals off a lot faster because that gun just, you can start shooting like a lot earlier than intended. You could also run swap speed double cap. The capacity is good. You can get more heal burst per clip, but the reload, it takes a long time. However, the swap speed will help because you can switch to your bug and your gun will be reloaded by the time you get back to it. You could also run double jump height and cap, or double jump height and reloader, because it is very good on Slim. You can jump over the monster and avoid a lot of attacks and probably heal yourself a lot more effectively if you're not getting hit as often with jump height. So yeah, that's what I would run in Slim. Next up we have E.M.E.T, and E.M.E.T is, I would probably say he's a B tier medic. He has pretty good healing, especially now that I learned that you can swap between your main weapon and your buoys to throw them out faster. So basically, you would throw a buoy, swap to your main weapon, swap back to your buoy, and then you can throw them like extremely fast. His heal burst also was buffed in Stage 2. His heal burst, especially if you take in double class cooldown, you can pop a heal burst every 4 seconds, and his healing is absolutely insane. You can get about 30k healing per match. From a monster going from stage 1 to stage 3, you get about like 28 to 30k healing per match. He does a lot of healing. The respawn beacon is good at baiting the monster to come back because it is 30 seconds. The monster can grab armor, but he has to come back and kill that beacon, especially if he doesn't want the hunters to come back. It's good for bringing back hunters if the monster can't come back due to health loss or something. And usually he can be like the difference between winning and losing a game. And of course his missiles also do a lot of damage on E.M.E.T. He's definitely a lot better than he was in Legacy, and better than Caira in my opinion. On E.M.E.T recently, one of my favorite builds has definitely been double class cooldown, because you can actually heal burst every 4 seconds with double class cooldown. So you go thrusters double class cooldown. As long as you remember that you can swap to your main weapon and throw your buoys a lot faster if you just keep swapping between them, then double class cooldown is amazing, and you just keep spamming buoys on your teammates, and you can get a lot of healing off that way, and you won't even have to worry about your teammates staying in one area. You could also run triple jump height on E.M.E.T if you want to be more survivability. However, you're not going to do very well at healing your teammates. The class cooldown is going to be a lot longer. Probably, I think it's like 6 or 7 seconds for E.M.E.T's cooldown. It's pretty short, but still, it's a lot. You could run more survivability, double thrusters, recharge, or thruster and double recharge. Those are all pretty good, and that's what I would run on E.M.E.T. Next up, we have Quantum Caira, and Quantum Caira I am also going to put in the B tier. She has really good survivability. She has damage resistance on her 3, or I guess it's her 2. And her class ability is a healing aura and a damaging aura. And if you activate those two at the same time, you can pump out tons of healing. However, the thing is, you have to stay in one area for Quantum Caira to work, because if you want to do good healing on her, you have to stack the bubbles on top of each other. So hunters kind of have to stay in one area, and usually that doesn't work with monsters such as like Goliath or Wraith that can like push you out of the healing. So her team healing is good, but it can be countered pretty easily. You could make your teammates like pretty indestructible with the DR and the class ability. However, once that runs out, your teammates just get flipped. And Quantum Caira, like, I would just say she's pretty mid just for the fact that you can't really dodge with Quantum Caira. You have to stay in the same area. You can dodge, it's a lot harder because the bubbles are so small. So usually you're not going to dodge abilities like Leap Smash or Charge, or you're probably not going to dodge Warp Blast. She's very good at roaching areas. She can put healing bubbles at small roaching areas, and it can be absolutely insane, like the Ray Trap pillar behind the relay. She can put bubbles around that, and it is very good to roach around, probably like almost impossible for a monster to beat unless they push the hunters out of that roaching area. However, like, again, when that DR and her class ability is gone, all she has is her healing fields, and they really don't do enough, especially since you have to stand still. You can just out damage it pretty easily, and all you have to do is just go after Quantum Caira's teammates, and she can't really do much. I know this is kind of starting to get repetitive, but on Quantum Caira, again, I would run swap double class cooldown. The swap is because when you run out of your healing grenades, you can swap to your proton whatever grenades and shoot 2 of those, and by the time you get back to your healing grenades, they'll be reloaded. So instead of wasting time reloading, you can just put down damage on the monster while he is attacking you. It just helps a little bit with the monster, and the double class cooldown helps a lot with bringing back that class ability because it actually does help a lot with your healing. It's healing and damage, so you're doing like both things at the same time without even having to think, and it comes back very often. You could also run double reloader if you want the damage resistance more often. It's like you can either have one or the other. You can either have the damage resistance more often, or you can have the class ability more often. I would personally just go with the class ability since it is healing and damage resistance isn't that good because they only last about like 4 seconds. So next up we have Paladin Parnell, and a lot of you probably know where this guy is going to go, but you're wrong because I'm not putting him in S tier. I am putting him in the A tier. And now you're probably wondering that I am insane, and let me explain why. So a lot of people already know that Paladin Parnell is probably the best surviving tank in the game. You never want to go after Paladin Parnell ever. Do not ever go after Paladin Parnell first. Always go after his teammates because Paladin Parnell's team healing is pretty bad. You can out damage Paladin Parnell's team healing like really easily, especially since he has a super long reload, and each rocket only does about 120 healing per rocket, which is less than Caira. She does about 125 per bubble, or grenade, I guess. And yeah, Paladin's team healing is just really bad, so you can just kill off his teammates very easily. However, he does have the same survivability as Slim, especially since his super soldier gives him DR. However, like, just because his team healing is bad, you can just kill off all of his teammates, and then he also needs to have a choice of who to heal. So he can't heal multiple hunters at the same time unless they like stick together very close together, which usually you don't want. So if monsters like switch in between teammates, then you have to make a choice on who you're going to heal. And it's just very hard to heal multiple teammates at the same time, and you can get overwhelmed pretty easily on Paladin Parnell by the monster. However, I still think he is a great medic, especially if the monster is focusing one hunter down instead of multiple. However, your teammates can get flipped, and then you just get sneak bounce in the end, and that's usually what happens in Paladin Parnell games. But if you don't want to get focused, though, play Paladin Parnell. Paladin Parnell and Rouge Val, they are probably the medics that will never be focused. And probably Quantum Caira, because she's also pretty unkillable. She has very good survivability as well. And finally, what I would run on Paladin Parnell, I would probably run the same build that I would run on Caira, which is Swap Speed, Reloader, and Cap. You could also run Double Reloader. I personally like Double Reloader a lot because you won't necessarily have to switch in between your weapons. It's not really a good thing to switch between your weapons as Paladin Parnell. You kind of want to be on that rocket launcher the entire time. And also you get your Super Soldier a lot earlier, which helps a lot with healing because that Super Soldier is what's going to get your teammates up to full health, because your regular rockets are just too slow at healing. And you can definitely run double jump height reloader as well, because you can get more easier line of sight on your teammates, and it will be easier to hit the ground with them because you won't have to judge distance from your rockets. And that's my tier list. That's my medic tier list. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe. 98% of my viewers are not subscribed. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I don't even know what the next one is going to be. See ya. Hey Trapper mains, this part is specifically for you. This is the perks that I would run on every Trapper, and hopefully you forgive me for my past mistakes. The thing that's good about the Trapper perks is I already have dedicated Trapper builds for each of the Trappers. So let's start off with Maggie. On Maggie, I literally only run swap speed and double reload, so you can just get harpoons out as fast as possible. And you don't really need movement speed on Maggie because the harpoons are like crazy fast at activating, and you can roach even without movement speed because the harpoons will just catch the monsters super fast. So it's all about the harpoons. On Waggy, harpoons don't really matter as much as regular Maggie, so you don't really need reload. I would definitely run damage, poison, poison, which was actually suggested to me by my buddy Storin. And because she has flame dot damage, the poison actually stocks on top of the flame damage, and she can do a lot more damage if you run double poison on her. Griffin is the first Trapper that has multiple builds on him. My favorite build on Griffin is double thrusters and recharge for tier 3. You could also go triple jump height on Griffin. I ran that for a while, but then I learned that you only stop the monster if your feet are planted on the ground, so jump height might not work as good. However, it does work really well when you're chasing the monster, especially if it goes over vertical, very tall vertical terrain. So you can jump over it and harpoon the monster. You could also run double reload on Griffin if you feel like you want to be annoying and if the monster is slow. It could definitely also work on Griffin. On Electro Griffin, I would probably just run the same thing that I would on regular Griffin because they're basically the same Trapper, except for everything is smaller on Electro Griffin. The only thing that I wouldn't run is double reload because I ran double reload on Electro Griffin one time and it was pain. I did not like that match at all. On Abe, I have another dedicated build, which is swap speed and double movement speed, and basically all you want to do is just spam stasis grenades on the ground if the monster is focusing you, and then just run around a pillar, and the monster will not have fun chasing a movement speed Abe while he's being stasised. And it works really well on pillars like the Wraith Trap pillar. On Crow, he's just the most simple Trapper, just run triple damage. He does so much damage already, it's insane. If you run triple damage, each pellet of his sniper rifle does about 70 points of damage, which is the same as a Parnell rocket. A charge shot does about 117 to 113, I think, and a charged headshot does 213, and that's to his health. That's insane. Finally, on Jack, everybody can agree with me that you should run double capacity, especially since you can stop multiple abilities on the monster, and it recharges fairly quickly. So double capacity is the way to go.